to the National Sports Commission organizing a proper Gateway Games or National Sports Festival that will lead to the emergence of young breeding stars in sports. After all, we have aging athletes already needing adequate replacement. Now let's get to basketball. Kingsley, the Nigerian Basketball Federation says it has tip-off preparations and of course build up from last of this crucial qualifying window for the 2025 Men's Afro-Basketball Championship. Can the Tigers go past their counterparts from Libya?
I think for me, if you take a look at the D Tigers of Nigeria, there's been a very huge decline in terms of performance. It was so sad, last year they couldn't qualify for the Olympic game, and that was a very, very abysmal one. In fact, in the qualifiers they played, they lost all the games they played. That's to tell you how deteriorated the D Tigers team, of course, has been at this point in time. And at this point, bulk of our foreign base, do not really come up anymore to compete for the country. But I hope that this will be, there will be a change at this point in time where we'll see the likes of maybe President Chunwa and the rest of them probably could come in and also assist the guys. Because from what we're getting at this point, the NBBF president, Musa Kida, is saying that there's going to be mixture of a foreign-based and home-based player. But for me, I really fear, for the home-based players because they've not really been active. They've not really been that fantastic. There is the Nigerian Basketball League here is not consistent, and the players are not fit. Most of them, are much rusty. Take a look at it when River Supers, of course, are playing. They even have to go and get foreign hands to make sure that they win the tournament, even especially when they go participate in the Basketball African League. So you can see that the state of basketball in the country is really affecting us when it has to do with championship like this. And I think for me, the Nigerian Basketball Federation, they really have to step up if we want to compete on a very high level. Before, the Tigers used to be forced to reckon with in Africa at any point in time. Even this Afro Basketball Championship, they were former champions. They won it, several times. But of a recent, I think it has been a very huge decline at this point in time. And I think Musa Kida really have to step up to see how to strengthen basketball, here in Nigeria.
For basketball championship coming up in Rwanda in just about 5 months or so from now, and we just hope that the D Tigers will be able to go past their opponent, and of course they become a fixture at the main Afro Basketball Championship. Musa Kida, very experienced leader, head of the Basketball Federation here in Nigeria, should know what to do and ensure that Nigeria returns to the summit of basketball in Africa, and of course do win. After all, we've been winners before, and 4 times semi-finalists, Kingsley, or even silver medalists. We need to keep our reputation in basketball across Africa.
Definitely, we really have to keep our reputation when it has to do with basketball. I think we've done a lot over the years, and this is not the time where we should relent. This is not the time where we should slack at this point in time. Musa Kida is actually an experienced basketball administrator. He's been there for so many years. I think it's then time for him to bring up his wealth of experience and strengthen basketball down here in Nigeria. What we need, most importantly, is a very, very comfortable league running in the country. It's very unfortunate that we only see the basketball league in Nigeria once in a year. And that, for me, that's not a very good one. At least the league should come up, twice, in a year, and it should be in the proper format, not the abridged, format that we normally see at this point in time. So there should be proper investments, there should be proper attention paid to basketball, or else we'll continue to struggle at this point in time. Because if you want to rely on the home-based players, you definitely won't get it right. Take a look at the Olympic game that the D Tigers, of course, competed, which they have a very impressive performance. We didn't see the home-based players, the girls, down here. Even none of the MFM ladies were even in that team, and that was very, very disappointing. After we lost, Erna Wakama came back and told the NBBF that they have to develop basketball down here in Nigeria, or else it will continue to struggle when it has to do with the global scene. Take a look at some countries that are dominating when it has to do with basketball. United States of America, you talk about Germany, Serbia, and the rest of them. These are countries that they have a very, very comfortable basketball league, and with that, you can be able to unearth talent that could represent the country. So for me, I think proper investment has to be done in basketball down here in Nigeria.
Talking about basketball reminds me that there has been action in the new year across in the regular season in the NBA in the United States of America. Kingsley, I'm not too sure. LA Clippers have negotiated this kind of performances in the new year. They couldn't make up to 100 points in their fixture against San Antonio Spurs that beat them by 128 points to 88 scored, recorded by the LA Clippers.
For me, I think that was, of course, a very, very abysmal one. And the fact that they were even at home, in that encounter, that makes it worse. For you to be beaten, of course, in that very margin, 122 to 86, couldn't even get up to 100 points at home. That was a very disappointing one, on the new year, for the LA Clippers. But I just hope, they see how to bounce back, from this embarrassing defeat and see how to strengthen themselves, of course, as the regular season continues.
Thunderstruck, or do I say thunderstruck as many times, 113 times against Minnesota Timberwolves that had only 103 points in that fixture. Oklahoma City Thunders, no doubt, playing at home were stronger against the Wolves from Minnesota.
I think I expected that level of performance. If you take a look at it, the Thunders, they've been thundering, for some time now. If you take a look at their conference, they're well seated, comfortable in that particular, one. And for me, I think it's as a result of the performance we've seen from them so far, taking out Timberwolves, of course, in that encounter, 113 to 105. I think that was a very impressive performance from them. I think you take a look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the one of the side we should be looking forward to this season.
San Antonio Spurs beat LA Clippers, while I'm sure the other Los Angeles team, Lakers, didn't negotiate what they saw against Cleveland Cavaliers. Like Kingsley did mention there, we saw LA Lakers playing at home and losing. So if you're from Los Angeles, I'm not too sure this is the way to start the year in basketball, because Lakers lost, Clippers lost as well. Let's look at the final match we saw on New Year Day in the United States of America. Phoenix Suns, 122 points as compared to 117 points scored by Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, of course. For me, I think from what we've seen, the Memphis Grizzlies, they have been on the other side that have been so fantastic. I'm so disappointed with the level of performance of the Phoenix Suns, this season. They've not been up there. I expected them, of course, to be on a very high level, competing with the likes of the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they've not really shown that tenacity. But last season, we saw them blazing, but all of a sudden this season, not the kind of performance so many persons expect at this point in time. But I will hope that they're going to at least, try to see how, of course, to get to the playoff and see what they will be able to do at the end of the day.